Hello, my name is Nancy and I'm from Tales of the Ravenous Reader, and I'm here today with Julie Buxbaum.
Hi.
Author of Tell Me Three Things, one of my favorite books from this year. And before we go too far into it, I just want to say congratulations for hitting number 4 again, going up on the list again.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was really exciting.
That's how very exciting. What were you doing when you found out?
I was home sick in my pajamas. Excuse me, as you can tell, I'm still sick. Yeah, and my editor called and I, started jumping up on the bed. Suddenly I felt amazingly better. It's amazing what that does.
Yeah, it is. Congratulations. I'm
Thank
so
you.
very happy because I really do enjoy this book so much, which, it's hard to believe. There may be some people out there that have not heard about your book. And could you tell our readers a little bit about it?
So the book is called Tell Me Three Things, and it's about Jessie Holmes, who is 16. And she's from middle-class Chicago, and shortly after the death of her mother, her father quickly remarries a woman he met on the internet. He picks them up, moves them to the suburbs of LA, and suddenly she finds herself in this super fancy pants world and starts at this really, again, I'm going to use the word fancy pants private school, where she finds she's completely in over her head. On her first day, she says all the wrong things and is wearing all the wrong clothes and doesn't really understand how she got there. And then out of nowhere, she receives an anonymous email from someone who calls themselves SN, offering to help her navigate her new school, and a relationship from there develops between the two of them.
And from what I understand, that this idea came from something that actually happened to you.
Yeah, so I once received an anonymous email, and it was sort of this really bizarre, strange, wonderful thing. And when something that weird and wonderful happens to you in real life, you borrow it from your fiction.
And how long did it take from that point to actually
To write the book?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question. At least 10 years? Yep.
So you had that idea on the back burner for 10 years?
Well, for 10 years, I had this thing happen to me, knowing that at some point, well, it happened to me long before I was actually a writer, but knowing at some point that I was going to have to tell the story in some way, not my actual story, but borrow this little detail. But it was sort of just filed away in the background, wrote other books, and then one day it just sort of came to me. I was like, oh, now's the time to use it. I know exactly how to do it. And I was able to execute it. But it did take a good 10 years. Maybe more. It might have been 14 if I have to do some math. I'm not good at math.
Okay. Neither am I. So, you're a successful adult writer. What made you decide to bridge that gap and go into the young adult genre?
I've always loved writing. I've read it for years and years and years. Recently, or I guess it's not so recently now because this book has been out for about 6 months, but a couple years ago I moved from London to New York and then New York to LA, and I had my second child. And much of my adult life I've sort of felt like I might have been an adult, but I wasn't really an adult. I was sort of playing adult. And all of a sudden I woke up one day and I was like, oh my God, I have 2 children, I have a husband, I have a mortgage, I have this full-time writing career. I'm a grown-up. Really, I'm on the PTA. I mean, it doesn't really get more grown-up than that. And I really miss being 16 when, all of my life's questions hadn't yet been answered. And I sort of wanted to go back and visit that time when, the whole future was open. In order for my life to change right now, something really terrible would have to happen. And so it was a really wonderful opportunity to go back and I sort of explore it in a safe way.
Perfect. Yeah. What are you working on now, and can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, so my next book is coming out in July. It's called What to Say Next. It is finished. I have it, but I don't have it in my hands. It is, it's so funny. I have not come up with my elevator pitch, and my editor is probably like, Julie, come on, it's time. This book has been written for a while, too. It's the story of a boy and a girl who are very different and unexpectedly connect over lunch one day.
That sounds
I could not be more vague, right?
Right.
It's not like there's some big secret to it. I'm not sure why I'm so vague. Oh, there it is.
Oh. There you go.
I should just read the back. That would make it easier. But yes, it's 2 people who strike an unexpected friendship.
Oh, very good. So, my last one. So, if you could go back in time and tell your teen self 3 things, what would it be?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, the first thing is, so the book is very much based on the idea. I lost my mother when I was 14. And the book is definitely going back and sort of re-exploring those feelings. And so I think the first thing I would tell my teen self is, it's never going to be okay that your mom died, but you will be okay. And I think that's a fundamental thing I didn't understand at first. And I would have loved to have sat myself down and explained that just because the fact of something is not okay doesn't mean that you won't be okay. So that's number one. Number two, I don't know. I think I'd love to tell myself to feel better about myself, to not be so self-critical. Wear the bathing suit. You know,
Eat the cake.
Eat the cake. Your thighs look great. They'll never look better. So maybe that. And I don't know. And then it's all gonna be okay. All of it. You grow up and you figure some stuff out, and maybe it's all a work in progress, and that's all right. I wish I was more articulate to my teen self. I'm sorry, teen self. This is me on cold medicine, teen self. But all kidding aside, yeah, I think the takeaway, I know that's not maybe three separate things, but the takeaway is it's all okay.
Okay.
It's hard, but it's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This was really fun.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't so bad to be on video. We did it.
Not bad. So we're really nervous about this.
Yeah.